The Chiefs keep on winning, and it's not why you think. Despite the ever-presence of Patrick Mahomes, this is a defensive-led team, sabotaging opponent schemes with blisteringly clever blitzes. Led by a 4-time Super Bowl winning mad scientist, Steve Spagnolo, you can never be quite sure what he's going to draw up next. Multiple and ever-changing, the only common thread is pressure, bringing panic and pain to QBs league-wide. The defense appears complex, but great teaching has players flowing with fundamentals, fast and free to the football. Spags wants to make your offense uncomfortable, and he's not afraid to bring the heat on any down, specializing in getting unblocked rushers straight to the quarterback. A trick he loves and has applied a lot this season is creating a fake overload, dictating to the line which way they should be sliding, only to bring pressure from the opposite edge. Combining the chaos up front, Spags has been coverage agnostic on the back end, mixing between man, zone, and match coverage based on opponent, situation, and game plan. This play is a great example of everything this defense stands for. Starting in a too-high shell, the Chiefs will wait for the Brock Bowers short motion before shifting the coverage, rotating safeties Brian Cook to one high and Justin Reed over the single side receiver, ready to send men after Minshew. With an over-front alignment, the Chiefs walk linebacker Nick Bolton up into the A-gap on the strong side, threatening the rush, and it becomes clear to the Raiders which way they should slide the protection, matching the numbers and having the back watch for anything coming weak. However, Bolton isn't blitzing, and neither is Felix Anudike-Uzomah, dropping as part of a match coverage. The pressure is instead coming from Chamari Connor, and the Raiders appear to have that matched. But thanks to the sneaky rotation, the backside becomes a mod coverage, allowing McDuffie to join the party and come unblocked through the open B gap. With two guys blocking nobody and a free rusher in his vicinity, Minshew hits the eject button, trying to escape right, but only manages a throwaway with McDuffie in hot pursuit. Here's a similar variant against the Chargers, again creating a free rusher with the fake overload, putting the QB in escape mode. Bolton walks up to the hip of the 3-tech, threatening to rush, but both he and Karlaftis drop, and the pressure again comes from the weak side, with Connor and Reed in pursuit. Dobbins is reading Bolton to Reed in his dual read, and Connor screams through the B-gap untouched. Herbert's quick to step up to find the space, but the drop-off on the right side of the line has 79 blocking nobody, and Chris Jones on a tight end. He's overwhelmed easily, and 95 is fast to take down Herbert. Back to the Raiders game, and again, the trap is set. A walked-up backer has the line sliding left for the overload, and watch the big rotation this time. The pressure is going to come from the strong side, with the walked-up backer dropping to become the wall 3 player this time. That's a player first looking to wall off any route coming inside, and if nobody does, he's going to man up the 3 receiver. 97 drops to watch the 2 weak and anything underneath, and Connor, the suspected lurking rusher, sprinting to midfield to become the single high. Cook slides over to the trip set to match the numbers, and Minshew had a chance to Myers underneath, but glimpsing 2 come through the B-gap and only a back to block him, he does what QBs are taught to auto-check to, aiming for the fade down the sideline, but that's completely locked up. Shifting to a 3-2-6 dime package this time, both backers will be up either side of the center, threatening to blitz on this one, forcing the Niners into 5-0 protection. If you want to learn about that, go watch our Pass Protection for Dummies video. But you know they're not all coming, and again, the backer on the weak side drops to become the wall 3. The lurking Connor runs to midfield as the corners man up, and the craziest part of this is the nose tackle dropping to play the 2 to the weak side, leaving a designated nose tackle covering a fullback. If you don't love Spags just for that, I can't convince you otherwise. With Bolton, Reed, Karlaftis, and McDuffie all blitzing, San Francisco are a man short in protection. And to make it worse, nobody picks up Karlaftis either, leaving 2 free to Purdy. Seeing 27 drop the way he does, and a nose tackle dropping, I see what Purdy's thinking, trying to attack the post gap in what appears to be cover 2. But the madman's playing man match, and he probably should have gone to juice in the flat, but again, hard to fault him, because who's expecting this? It's good bravery and anticipation to aim for Ayuk, but it's very hard to be early and accurate with 2 guys in on you in half a second. All of these have been 5-man pressures so far, but against empty formations, you can run these as 4-man sim pressures. Again, Bolton walks up to the line to cause a slide, but he ain't coming, dropping to wall off the 2 to the Twins' side, as Karlaftis also drops to become the wall 3. Atlanta have the correct play called to attack this, forcing the wall 3 to track Pitts on a deep out from the inside slot, but the pressure is too fast through, crunching into Cousins as he tries to deliver. Now you've probably seen Bolton dropping a lot in this and thought, why can't the offense just ID this and be ready for it? Well, sometimes he's coming, and so is everybody else. Spags isn't afraid to send the house, and if you aren't prepared through the A-gap, the play is over even quicker. With the game on the line, Bolton is again lurking just off the hip of his tackle, and this time he's gonna go, joined by McDuffie creeping off the edge and Najee Johnson to make it a 7-man pressure. The cover 0 numbers dictate the defense must have the extra man, and once again Spags has generated a free rusher right in Cousins' face. He attacks the right matchup, but this is an impossible window to thread, leading to a turnover on downs. And I love how physical he allows his corners to be in these calls. Excellently taught, all the Chiefs corners do a great job of using their body and hands to disrupt the timing and space on the route. Not many coaches have the bravery to call 0 pressure with press coverage, but that's exactly what the Chiefs run here. One of the reasons 0 works so well is the correct path to attack is one of the hardest. This is almost brilliantly executed between Carr and Tipton, but under this level of pressure, you have to be perfect, and chaos from blitzing combined with press coverage makes this impossible. It's not just 0 though. Spags loves the 6-man pressure too, dropping the spare man into the robber area to camouflage chaos. This is a fabulous design combining the overload with even more pressure. Starting in too high, the safeties quickly creep down over the slots in the 2x2 formation, with Reed hovering around the line. But much like the earlier play against San Francisco, it's Karlaftis with his hand in the dirt, and both he and Reed will drop, scattering to opposite sides of the formation as McDuffie and Bolton attack the other edge away from the slide. Connor also comes on the blitz to make it 6 and hold the attention of the right side of the line. And again, this puts the back into a dilemma, having 2 to defend through the B gap. Herbert does a good job to read the coverage rotation, but McDuffie has timed his blitz too well, and he lights him up, turning this into a grounder. And here it is with no rotation. Again, look how physical the corners are allowed to play when the receivers are split out as clear pass catchers. Jalen Watson does a great job to beat up Quentin Johnson off the release, pinballing the ball skywards, but unluckily landing free. The beauty in Spags' blitzing is the variety. In fact, Spags has been using the pressure quarters looks Flores has taken to the extreme this year as a change-up blitz for a long time now. The basis of the defense is to send 5 at the quarterback, and then roll to play 2 triangles of coverage, man-matching the receivers to each side based on the route release. The triangles can be played as either palms or quarters. For more on this, check out our video on the Brian Flores Vikings defense. And that's exactly what they're running here against San Francisco. And with 5 men with their hand in the dirt, the 49ers get a 5-0 protection on. But Karlaftis drops to form the far triangle, as the 5th man rushing is Nick Bolton, coming through the near side B gap. Untouched to Purdy, he has to avoid the pressure, missing Mason out the backfield, and trying to step up, he finds more pressure, eventually seeing another ball grounded. Here it is against the Raiders. Initially, it looks like man coverage with a standard 4-man rush, but 1 second after the snap, you can see them rotate to form the 2 triangles, and the overload of 4 rushers Spags has managed to create over the right side of the line. Bolton is once again free, forcing Minshew into panic mode, and this time the ball's hitting the ground thanks to an excellent strip from Mike Pennell. And you can play all the variants of quarters out of this too. Watch them play a box over the trip side of the 4-strong formation, and instead of having the safety poach over to the trips, he flies over to trap Jamar Chase in double coverage. The walked up backers create the 5-0 protection, and 2 rushers come through the B gap unaccounted for, causing a serious dilemma for the back. And you know how this story ends, with the QB in the dirt. And this look is another reason you can't just discount Bolton, because as part of their pressure quarter system, he's often QB hunting. Here, Bijan picks him up, but this only frees a path for Watson to come through untouched. And this is a horrible ball to nowhere town by Cousins. We've touched on it throughout, but something else the Chiefs do excellently is late rotation. The later you can show your intentions, the better. And the Chiefs wait as long as possible before showing their hand, often moving on the team's snap motion to try to throw off the QB. Messing with Purdy's eyes, the Chiefs start in too high and are gonna play cover 2, but not before shifting all their defenders around. Reed drops to the middle zone as Cook bounces over to take his half, and Connor quickly backpedals to take the other. Purdy is hesitating as he struggles to find anything open, and we know that's the death of an offense, forced into scramble mode on a long 3rd down. Here it is again against the Chargers. They start in what appears to be one high, but Johnson shifts on the snap, again creating a cover 2. Warden gets pressure on his own this time, and Herbert forces off the spot and tripped up. Seeing 35 backing off, he thinks he has McConkey coming open on the whip, but he's quickly downhill and up on the route, playing through the hands for the breakup. And they love to mess with you with man rotations too. In too high, no one follows the motion, but Reed does rotate down, and Connor bumps wider, revealing a cover 1 robber. Cousins does a good job to survey, and it's even better coverage from McDuffie, playing through the hands for the pass breakup. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum. To really mix things up, Spags will back off completely, dropping 8 into coverage as a curveball. Here, they present a single high look, but it will become a cover 2 with Chanel bumping Lamar's favorite target before filling in as a spy under the coverage. We don't see it fully play out with Lamar firing fast, but the corner's playing the flat, attacking downhill, and Flowers has to pull off an acrobatic move to avoid his head getting taken off. And here's more drop 8, this time a wackier version in the 2-minute drill. It's a 3-man rush with coverage across the board, 2 hook curls, and a steep single high. Carr is forced to the checkdown, and the Chiefs swarm for the tackle to keep the clock running. Again, against Lamar, he's got a spy, but this time it's quarters coverage behind it in the red area. Everything is shut down, and Lamar backs his legs, but Chanel says not today. Something Spags does on tape that I just wish more coordinators would do is pay absolute respect to a true number 1 threat. Treating Chase with the attention he deserves, Spags has multiple times doubled him up, telling Burrow he must go elsewhere. Here it is with a 5-man pressure, and they've got one corner in press taking away any chance of the inside, and a safety over the top, again trying to take away anything in-breaking to the field space, and out-leveraging him deep. That's where Burrow wants to go on the long 3rd, but he knows he has to go elsewhere. Yet when he looks, he sees nothing, forced to tuck and run, only to be captured as he breaks contain of the pocket. And here it is again. They motion Chase cross formation slot to slot, and both safeties follow, having him bracketed from both sides, refusing to let him use his speed to find space laterally. Both are down and ready to jump on any ball to him, and Burrow is forced to try to take a different matchup. When you see the schematic advantage the Chiefs regularly hold, you understand why they're always in contention. With a versatile set of defenders, a strong run defense we haven't even had a chance to talk about, and a creative scheme that attacks protections with precision, you've got a unit who can dictate the pace of play. This is a defensive-oriented team, and when you add the best QB in the league to the roster, you've got success that's meant to last.